Today is Saturday, November 2nd. It's about 50 degrees. Last night we had our first killing frost. Got down to about 29 degrees last night. You can see the tomatoes are just about done. We came out early. When I say early, I mean about 10 o'clock at night last night, and we picked all of the fruits except for a couple of small ones, on the chance that maybe, just maybe, the frost would miss us. But it hit. The tomatoes are done. And so for us, that is the end of the growing season for 2019. So now we will start looking forward to 2020. And we have our friend the stray cat. She's giving me the tail. Hi, kitty. Hi, kitty. How are you? She's a visitor, frequent visitor here in the garden. We do still have, we set up this cold frame, a cloche. My wife calls it a cloche. And I germinated lettuce plants about a month ago, and we put them in the ground last week. Some of them have been in almost 2 weeks, a week and a half. We're going to open this up and see if they survive the frost. So they look good, they look okay, they survived. We will be ready to start picking some leaves soon, not quite yet. I've already eaten a few, but maybe we'll let this grow another week or so. There are some other plants in here that are not cold tolerant. There's some eggplants and a couple of tomatoes. I don't really expect them to do anything, but it does provide us with a gauge of the conditions inside the cloche. So as long as the tomatoes are still growing, then we know that temperatures in here are staying at least barely above freezing. So I think that's it for now. The only other thing I will mention is we have some kale here. This kale has been growing in the garden for about 3 years. So we're trying a slightly different approach to the kale. We've pinched back the tops, and when we do that, it sends these shoots. Off the stalk, the main stem. And I'm going to try propagating this kale over the winter by taking small side shoots and putting them in pots to see if we can get them to root. So that's about it. The next thing for the garden is to pull down the tomato cages and get all that put away, and to start raking up the leaves. We use the leaves here as part of our compost system. So that's it for today. We are in Central Maryland, Zone 7A. Ramilly County is what I like to call this place, for all of you classic literature fans. So we'll try to make a video once a week and watch the progress of the garden over the winter. And we do plan to grow some more things, some indoors and some in containers over the winter, so we can at least enjoy something from the garden during the cold season. Talk to you all next week. We have a visitor to the garden. This is an extra. I don't know if you can see this. I'm gonna try zooming in if I can figure out how to do that here. It is a pileated woodpecker. They're very unusual to see here. We usually get the smaller ones. I don't know what they're called. Maybe they're the red-headed or red-bellied or whatever. But this is a fairly large bird. I don't know if you can see it in the video. I'm going to try getting a little closer. We grew a variety of marigolds this year called Cracker Jack from American Seed. We started them very late, put them in the ground late, and they are still blooming. They survived the frost. They're interesting to me because they're the biggest marigolds I've ever grown. The plants are about 2 feet tall, and the flowers are, as you can see, this is one of the larger ones. It's not the largest. I think there are some large ones out back. I'm going to go try filming those. This is the largest marigold out of the group, and as you can see, the high winds, 30-mile-an-hour winds and driving rain we've had over the last couple of days have been, that coupled with the frost, has kind of taken the knocked the wind out of the sails for this one. So I'm going to stand it up and take a look at those blooms. Okay, this is the largest flower. This is a marigold, and it's almost as big as my hand. And the packet of seeds grew all different kinds as far as the flower structure. Some had a lot more petals than others, and out of the group, this orange one has the fullest flowers, and as far as the number of petals, has the most petals, and also it is the largest. And some other new things for this year. That's the horseradish, which is doing well, and we've got a couple of types of parsley here, and there's a couple kinds of chives in here, and some rosemary and some oregano. I don't know if there's any sage in here. So that's about it. Some more marigolds. As you can see, there's always a lot to do in the garden. That's one of the things I like. As you come out, you work hard, and you get to see the results of all that hard work. Alright, that's it for this week.